Welcome, everybody, to the effing title, episode 26, and today's guest is a repeat. If you don't know her, this is a big problem. It's a big problem. Big old problem. She is the stream wifey. She is technically, I haven't even told her this yet, technically that makes her the first lady of the channel. It is RidiculousAnad, or as everybody knows her, Dana. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Husky. Hi, everybody. How are you guys?
How are you?
I'm crying. I'm the first lady.
Technically, if I'm because of course I rarely ever say it, but if I'm technically President Husky, that would technically make you the first lady, right?
I feel so special. I'm the first lady of the Husky Nation. You hear
There
that,
we
Opie?
go.
We're royalty now.
Royalty. So how are you, Dana?
I'm doing good. Had the weekend off for once.
There we go. It's always nice to have. So for the people out there that are idiots and don't know who you are, why don't you tell them who you are?
So I'm ridiculous. I am a part-time streamer who met Husky through the grapevine of all the people who I've interacted with and he's interacted with. We became hubby and wifey pretty quickly, actually. But yeah, I'm just another gal in the streaming world, but not an e-girl. I refuse to be called that. Don't call me that.
She's the greatest gal.
The
bestest.
But yeah, like I said, just a part-time streamer who works during the day and streams at night and supports the hubby any way I can.
Yeah, like I said, she's the bestest.
Stop it.
So,
too kind.
Topics today. I asked Dana graciously, I think it was yesterday, said that she would become the guest after I was just going to do it myself because I hadn't found a guest. And I said, all right, pick the topics. And she's like, no. So I was like, okay, you pick one, I pick two. So the topics for today are the future, sports, and upcoming games.
All very good topics, in my opinion.
Right, I was trying to think of ones that could fit both of us, that were open ended, so it's not like like either a discussion it's not like a discussion of one specific thing or a argument. It's just almost opinionated. It's open. It's da da da.
We wouldn't argue.
No,
No,
we're too good for that. The peasant thing of arguing. So the future. So the people want to know.
Where's Yef?
Yef? I was gonna say. I can't. I hope that he watches us back. Because hi, Jeff. If he watches this,
hey, buddy.
If he watches this back, he's gonna be dying laughing right now. Yeah, no, it's the future. So I thought this was kind of an interesting one because we can do future of like actual work, the future of us streaming, the future in general. The ridiculous one that Jeff has said of is the future of us.
The future of us.
No, and he's here. Hi, Jeff. So what's the future of you working? What's that look like? What in your brain? Let's do it like that. In your brain, what do you want it to be, and what does it look near future? How about that? Let's do that.
So last time that I was on the podcast, we talked about the fact that I work in the restaurant industry. So for anybody who doesn't know, I am a restaurant manager for a big corporation. And I've always worked in the restaurant industry. I for sure as hell never thought I was going to stay in it. I'd gone to school for different things like exercise science and was going to try to pursue something in that. And then I realized I hated it. And so I stuck with the backup plan, which was, just climbing up the food chain at the previous restaurant I worked at. And then unfortunately me and that restaurant had to part ways, and now I work for a better company, which worked out in my favor, as an entry-level manager. And in my brain, I would like to get to a high enough level that could support me and a potential future family, like financially, without, being too stressful. But let's be realistic. It's a restaurant industry. It won't work like that, right? Um,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
so,
fine with being a trophy husband. I'm just gonna throw that out
trophy husband, and while you lead the Husky Nation.
there.
Um, so, ideally, I would like to, like I said, either get to an AGM position or a GM position. And then there's always bigger options than that, like area directors or of operations, so you control a region,
Mhm.
or head trainer, so you would train and do all the new restaurant opens and things like that. I don't necessarily know where I want to go with this career path. I know I'm not going to go back to school and specialize or narrow down my major that I graduated with from my university. But I definitely like the idea of still doing some sort of growth, because I can't just stay stagnant the whole time, because that's just not good for health in general.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm lucky enough to work with a team that is very motivating and encouraging. They have made sure to push me and even out of my comfort zone. The new saying right now is that you're fully capable, you just don't want to. And I was like, you're absolutely correct. So, but that's kind of the, like I said, there was never really a plan. My plan has constantly changed since I graduated high school. And I thought I had it figured out. And then I ended up in a completely different field, in a completely different
Yeah,
mindset. And I have
I feel like that
no idea.
I feel like that happens more often than not, especially for the people that are like, I have this all planned out, and then it's like, no, you don't.
Exactly. And like, there's that saying, now, mind you, I'm not religious, but there's that saying, God laughs when you tell him your plans.
Oh yeah,
Because, so, it never goes the way that you expect it to. But I do believe that you always end up where you're supposed to be for a reason. So I think there's a reason why I'm here. I just don't know what it is yet.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Now, what about you? Are you going to
Um,
change, like, for work?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I picked the topic and I didn't even like think about it. So
You didn't think about it.
no, I was like, these are good topics, and then I continued to watch. I think I finished 3 series today, 3 different series today. So,
That's fantastic, by the way.
yeah,
Fantastic.
no, I like. So for everyone out there that doesn't know, if you haven't watched the podcast where I talk about what I do for work, I'm a shipping manager for a small body jewelry company. Right now, I'm just hoping that I still have a job by the end of the year, because the way things are going with people being fired and for the petty, stupid reasons. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm one of the next ones fired. Um,
Well, hopefully that won't happen.
yeah, no, it's and it's one of those things, like, I feel completely safe saying everything and anything I want on this right now, because I know for a fact that they aren't gonna watch this. Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where the internal, and it's not even politics. It's just the internal workings of where I am. It's one of those things where there have been talks in the past, apparently, that I recently found out about, where it's like, oh yeah, we can just have the third party purveyor that we get our stuff from. They can just
Mhm.
ship it straight to the companies. Husky doesn't need to, quality control it, make sure everything's okay, get it in the proper boxes, make sure we're not going to get fined. You don't, no, that's fine. We just have them do it. And luckily, I have people who back me and, say, hey, don't be an idiot. So that's good.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's definitely one that I never thought I was going to be at. It's one of those things where I can see it being one of two things. Either one, I no longer work there and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing for work. Because honestly, I've never really thought, like, I'm very much I just kind of live right in this second guy.
Mhm.
I have never had really big plans. Like, you know,
Completely understandable. It's overwhelming for sure to think
yeah.
that far ahead.
So like I'm always, it's like I pay rent week by week. Like, you know,
A
um,
mood.
yeah, it's like I pay rent week by week. I buy my food week by week. Everything I do is like very short time-ish. So like But there's not a good chance, but there's a small chance that I eventually go from shipping manager to basically running the shipping, the invoices, doing the import export of everything, making sure everything's running, basically like the sub manager part of the entire fucking thing.
Is that something you want to do, or is it just kind of like if it falls in your lap, you'll
Well,
do it?
so I work with my father, and that's my father's job.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's getting up there in age, and especially recently, my grandfather is my grandparents, I should say. They're both not doing that great.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. And the only reason why I preference it like that, everybody, is that it's not a heartless fucking asshole. I swear. It's because with me growing up in England, I saw my English grandparents every single weekend from the age of basically 3 months till 13. And then I moved to America, and I rarely see my grandparents here, and they live literally right up the road from me.
Oh wow, I thought they still lived over there.
No, my English grandparents are both dead now, unfortunately. My American grandparents are literally right up the road. Like I can walk to their house in like 5-10 minutes. Like
Right.
I rarely see them. Like even when I was coaching at the high school, they would rarely come fucking watch the games. So it's kind of one of those ones. For like 3 years in a row, I was given a Bible for Christmas and my birthday, which is like 20 days apart. It's one of those things where like I've had like a death stare from my grandmother because she told me I should go caroling with my uncle, and I was like, "No, I'm good."
What?
Yeah, I was like, "No, I'm good." I've turned down her pie before, and she acts like I just fucking murdered the dog in front of her.
Side note: is caroling still a very popular thing?
Fucking up here it is if you're, if you go to the right church. Literally,
I had no idea.
yeah, no, it's absolutely absurd. The last time I went up there, she makes. I'm not a big pie. I like pie. Let me rephrase it. I like pie. I don't like fresh like blueberry pie or berry pie, which is what she makes a lot. So we went up there one day. I think it was later in the year, last year, and she offered me some, and I really didn't want any. It wasn't even the fact that it was blueberry pie. I was just like, no, I don't want any. And for the rest of the night, she acted like I literally just kicked the dog right in front of her.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it sucks, but and like I said, this is where it sounds a little heartless. It sucks, but it's not like a huge oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's more for me. The hard part will be seeing my dad's reaction after this.
Right, because those are his parents, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My dad just lost his best friend from high school, literally this past week. I think it was this past week or 2 weeks ago, and yeah, he wasn't good. He wasn't good with it.
It hits everybody hard.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where there's a few moments, and I've talked about it before. There's a few moments where I see my parents or relatives or someone I know, and I've seen almost every one of them, their reaction change from what I normally know them as, and it's a reaction that scares me. And that one, that hit him really fucking hard. But after that long roller coaster of a thing, just to say that I work for my dad. So my dad is basically right. My dad has recently said, not recently, but in the most recent past, we have talked about me taking over his job and what that would entitle, and this and that. So before COVID happened, my mother and father were going to go back to England because one of my cousins is getting married.
Okay.
So they were going to go over there for I think it was 2 weeks. So while they were over there for 2 weeks, someone would literally have to run the company and do all of his stuff for 2 weeks.
Right, so that would be your test trial?
So that would have been my, here, this is how, you're up,
Right. Your turn, have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And that would have been a nightmare too, because it would have involved me having to work longer because I would have had to done more stuff. I would then have to come home, stream for maybe an hour or two, go to my parents' house to feed the dogs because we have dogs, So go there,
Right.
feed the dogs, stay there with the dogs basically all night, you know, and then like that sort of thing. So like I'm kind of glad that didn't have to happen, but yeah, and it's not any. It's one of those things like I still don't know what I want to do. You know, it's
Like you said, I feel like that's a very common feeling for this generation.
oh yeah, well, and it's one of those things where it's like I like coming out of college. I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and then something fucked it up and derailed it. So I was like, okay,
Right.
cool. So now this is what I'm doing, and then I started doing that, and then a year and a half ago, now almost 2 years ago, something happened, and now that derailed that too.
Right.
You know, so it's just kind of one of those things now where it's like there are options that I could do if I really wanted to. Everybody knows Scratchy. If I wanted to, I could go coach for Scratchy, which I'd be fine with. I'd love to fucking coach with him. I just one of the things that has been with me anyway is I don't know if I want to get back into coaching because the last year I was in coaching, I really lost all of my love and flair for coaching. Like it was rough to a whole new level.
Completely understandable with everything that had been going on.
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of those things. Like I've told different people, bits and pieces, but I think there's only like one or two people that know like basically the whole story. And
Right.
like yeah, it's you know, it's one of those things where when you get told you're not coming back or we're not bringing you back, you know, it fucking hurts. But then within 3 months of that, when your parents tell you you seem happier now, and all you're doing is playing video games and going to work full time, you know, that kind of fucking tells you something, you know.
Right. That you might have made the right. That it might have been a blessing in disguise.
Exactly. So that brings up the next part of the future part of it, which is the future with the stream, and that's where I think that I kind of want to continue going. Is more stream based, stream content creating, like that sort of thing. Like I love doing it. Like of course, like everybody wants more views. Everybody
Of
does.
course.
Like if you say you don't, you're lying.
You're a liar. Right.
You know, would I love to see more views? Yes. Am I gonna bitch and complain about it? No. It's just how it is. You know, they come with time, and once I build up this great fucking community that I have already started, you know, once it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you know,
Right.
Right now we have 260 something videos uploaded to YouTube this year.
That's so impressive, bro.
Yeah,
I'm really so flabbergasted when you say things like that.
so I actually because I was looking at it because I've started keeping track of it. There's like 214 days or something like that so far this year, like 210 or something like that. Like I got basically like 50, 60 more videos than there are days in the year right now.
Nice.
Yeah, and I only started posting daily like 2 months ago, like 3 months ago.
Right. When COVID started, right? Because you had like more time.
Well, no, it was just I was wondering if I could do it. Like that was kind of the thing. Was like I had a few like there was like 2 days a week where I wasn't posting stuff,
Right.
and eventually it became one of those things where, and I think I was talking to Jeff, Scratchy, and John, and I was like, do you guys think I could do this? Like, do you think I could do three series a week? And
They were like, hell yeah, you could.
well, yeah, they were like, they were like, fuck it, try it, see what happens, And now it's gotten to the point now where when I do start doing more solo player games again, which I'm going to do here in the next little bit, once I start doing those, they're actually going to be uploading in 2021 on the YouTube channel.
Right, because you already have the plan out through the end of the year, right?
Yeah. So the entire rest of the year is planned out, other than a few random dates, which is minor details.
Right.
But the big one though is I'm going to start planning for next year and just start getting a ton of stuff ready for next year, so that I can like literally pick and choose what I want going when and where,
Right.
So, but like that's
all the content.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the part of the YouTube side of it. The Twitch side of it, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. Eventually, I will be going back to work full time. So eventually, my schedule will go back to being the 4 to 10, and not the random middle of the morning all the way until random middle of the afternoon.
Right.
Unfortunately, because I've actually really been enjoying doing the morning part of it, but I physically can't do my job at night. So,
right.
Or I don't want to. Let me put it like that.
Right. Right.
Well,
I'd rather stop at 5 o'clock if I can. Thanks.
so the thing is that so where I work is in a back alley,
Mm-hmm.
and it's creepy enough during the day, let alone at night. So,
Right.
like at one point, it was called Heroin Alley in my town.
Oh
Yeah, it
man.
was one of those things. Like it had a really good name.
Love that.
Yeah, right.
Love that.
But so yeah, no. So I have so there's a bunch of stuff, and of course, with upcoming games topic, we'll talk about some of the games that we're going to be playing later. But yeah, no, I have the rest of this year kind of planned out. Basically, what we're gonna do. I think is going to be interesting because I was when, and of course, because I said this to Jeff and Sturge, I will not be buying.
Right.
I will not be buying Madden 21. I will not buy it. I refuse to buy it.
See, I feel like you have a love-hate relationship with Madden.
I do, but like this next one though, I'm like I've set like I said, I've set it, I've put it in stone. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not buying it. Like done. Like it's happening. I'm not fucking doing it. What I
Now,
am
what is
gonna
the
do,
reasoning behind that?
I'm so fed up with the fact of paying $60 to have a roster update.
Right.
That's it. Because like the last few seasons, all they've done is reintroduce a feature that technically, in my opinion, has ruined the game. The gameplay has gotten worse. The way you control the characters and everything has gotten worse. They haven't done anything to franchise mode, which is the main mode I play. And like one of the big selling points over the last few years has been, hey, you can pick which celebration you do now.
Like, why is that such a big? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like so, like with the way that this last one has been, and the last few have been, like I'm done with it. It's one of the games that I rage at more than anything. Like I can't fucking do it. Like I can't. So what I've said is I've said like on stream like I will not buy it. If someone wants to buy it for me, I will then play it.
Okay, so I guess I'll be putting that on my list of things to buy.
Great,
Husky.
awesome,
Let me
thank
make a
you.
note right
Yeah,
here.
thanks. I'm glad you want me to die early.
How
Taking
else will I
years.
become leader of the Husky Station? Husky Nation.
Yeah, that is true. The coup is already begun, ladies and gentlemen. But no, so like I have it planned out. We have we're Apex to the end of the fucking year. Overwatch to the end of the year.
Mhm.
I have a new game that I will be buying. I think at the end of this week, I'm actually going to do some more looking into it. But I might be buying a new game this week and then playing
Is it
it
that
this
fishing
Saturday.
game?
No, not yet. That fishing game will happen though. There's a fishing game out there. I'll leave the link to the video in the description for you guys. You need to watch this video because it is the most hype fishing simulator game ever. And I
Literally,
will
the
be playing it
music
at
on
some
it just
point.
makes you want to throw fists, but it's just for fishing. It's
So
hilarious.
fun. It's a fun story before we get to your future with streaming. I played it for my dad,
Mhm.
but I didn't show him the video. I didn't show him the video of the game of it, so I just kind of had it. Then I was like, okay. I was like, Dad, here we go. I was like, I want to play you the first minute of this. Tell me what game it is. So I start playing it, and it gets to a minute. I pause it, and I said, so what game is this? My dad looks at me and goes, it's basketball, because the way that the
Uh-huh.
it's like bouncing the ball. I was like, it's
I can see
basketball.
that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I go and flip it over to him, and I press play, and he looks at it, and as soon as he sees the first fish, no joke, my dad flips around, turns me. You're fucking kidding me, right? Like he looks back at it, and like my dad swears every now and then, but like he never puts like a huge emphasis on it like he did. And I was like, oh my god, this is funny. And
That's how I felt when you showed it to me. I was like, "Are
yeah,
you serious?
like
All this for a fishing simulator?"
that's why I have to play it. Like it's too fucking much. But yeah, and
It's too hyped.
yeah, and to answer one of the questions, the game that I will be playing is it as of right this second. Okay, as of right this second, you have to buy it. But apparently, it will be free to play later on. If you buy it right now, you get certain things in game that you can use later. So that's the whole thing. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. But it is multiplayer.
Gotcha.
And it is crossplay.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's got it. Yeah,
Crossplay things.
it's got everything. But all right, so now, right? So that's me. Now it's your turn. What's the future look like for you?
For my streaming content?
Yes.
Oh man. So I never really had a plan. I thought it was just going to be like a fun little side project that I could do like on my days off. That's now consumed my life. It's fine. Um, like I sacrifice sleep to play games and stream just for the memes. But I literally noticed today that I'm at 177 followers. I think
Hot
today.
damn! Look at you go.
Oh no, much progress. Out of my 200 goal. And I never in my entire life thought I would be up to that many. Like I started this, like I met you in March, and that's when I like kind of started seriously taking it more seriously again. But I had been streaming for a year before that, but it was like a couple times a month,
Yeah,
like
see,
nothing serious.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed it the other day when I was looking through like your content history on Twitch, like your producer, your creator dashboard. And you can go back and back and back and back and back. And I was like, oh wow, like there's streams from like 2019 in the middle of the summer when I was like trying Sea of Thieves for the first time, and like all that kind of stuff. And I completely forgot about all of that. And back then it was just because my friend Silly was doing it and she was having so much fun, and I was like, this looks like something that like I might be good at. And then plot twist, I was terrible. Because I didn't talk throughout like the games I was playing. I was just like super focused, and I feel like that's a huge part of it now. It's like talking through what you're doing. I was playing very unhypeful games. Like Sea of Thieves is kind of cool, but like World of Warcraft, nobody watches that. Sims, there's like a specific click for that out there in the Twitch world. But not very like enticing games by any means. But I also wasn't doing it to look for followers. I was just doing it because I was like, oh, like this might be fun if someone comes and talks to me for a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough.
And now that like the community is growing and I'm having a lot of fun with it, but do I plan on trying to like fight for partner or anything? Absolutely not. Like that's not I feel like once you reach that level of commitment, like there's no turning back. Like it would become more so of a job than just a free hobby.
Yeah,
a
true.
free fun hobby. And I want to try to keep it as much as a hobby level as possible. Now don't get me wrong, like you said earlier, like do I want the views? Of course I want the views. Everybody wants the views. But I also don't have I have so much time constraint in regards to like my job and trying to do that. And then if I were to try to stream and like consistently full time, it would be chaotic as hell. I would never sleep. Not that I do anyway. But, it would just become so much stress, and I don't want to ruin that part of gaming. I mean, let's be real. We all only stream to watch ourselves do funny things, right? Because that's what I do. I go back through and watch the VODs, and I just laugh at myself, and I'm like, wow, you look like an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like I've said it to different people before. Like, I don't play games off stream anymore because I've done it like 2 times, and both times that I've done it, I've done shit that is like fucking impossible for me to do on stream. And immediately, my first thought isn't like, "Awesome, I just got a 20 bomb," like that sort of thing. No, my immediate first thought is, "Fuck, no one saw this."
Yep. Yep.
And it's like
exactly.
Yeah. So.
And unless you're recording it, even if you weren't streaming, you have no way of proving that ever happened. And then no one believes you if you got like, a team kill all by yourself, or you just took out 3 squads in Apex, or like whatever. Like no one's gonna believe. They're like, oh yeah, sure, buddy. You're like, no, really.
Exactly.
It's not there.
So now the last thing future based that I wanted to bring up, and this was brought up to me by one of my friends. Okay, this is what it's up to me by Jeff. Jeff said that I should do a podcast with me, his wife, and Scratchy's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, like yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. And then, of course, I haven't said this to him yet, so he's going to hear this for the first time, along with everyone else. But then I was like, what if instead I actually just gave the podcast over to you for a night, and you and the ladies do the podcast for an entire night.
Oh my. That's so much pressure. Why would you say that?
Like I said, I said future as well. So like I don't know when, but like I randomly thought of it and I was like, there's like I could easily bring up Discord, have us both be on video call, set this up so instead of it capturing me, it captures your video. You know, have you talking with them. You girls pick the topics. You know, each one of you pick a topic. Boom, boom, boom. There. Like,
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, I'm totally down for it. It's going to be super chaotic. And it's going to be
100%.
super man-dissing, and it's going to be hilarious. Because I feel like that's what we would do. We would just talk shit the whole time.
Well, I guess like that's the like I would love to, because of course I'd have to figure out a way to set it up so you girls can do it with, like, so like me setting up it on my Streamlabs, but then you guys doing it. You know what I mean? You was taking see Mrs. Fedge there. She's down.
I see that.
Yeah. See, so we got to figure out a way to do this at some point. But that was one of the things. Like I said, I thought about it earlier today, and I was like, I'm gonna wait for the podcast to drop this one. So at some point down the line, there will be an episode of the effing title that will be fully taken over by the girls.
That will be hilarious, and I'm so here for it.
Right, I thought that you would. I thought you and them would love that idea.
I have to start thinking of topics now. Man, it might not be for like a year from now, but I gotta be ready. I gotta be ready.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
the amount of topics that would come out of us would be hilarious.
What is like the effing title wife edition? I feel like over here where I have it, so it says big 75 Husky Certified podcast. I'd have to like cross that out and just put the wives podcast for one episode. Like that sort of thing.
You have to have it like crossed out though, like we drew over it. Like,
oh yeah,
nope.
Yeah, nope, not this week, boy. Oh, there we go. The effing wives. There we go. Oh my god. The amount of absolute chaos that will be happening soon. I love it. So the next topic of the night. This is the topic that Dana picked, everybody. So here we go.
It was a terrible idea.
So here we go. Sports. So Dana, why don't you tell everybody about sports?
Oh yeah, here. There's balls that go into hoops sometimes. Sometimes ball goes between posts. No. The reason why I picked this is because like you and I talk sports sometimes, but like I said, I have very surfacey knowledge when it comes to sports. Mm-hmm. As to where I feel like you are more in tune with what is going on in most sport things, but then you told me that it's mostly only football, so I was like, oh shit. But then I was also curious about like your, not necessarily childhood, but like your sports career growing up, and then what happened in college, and then like what came out after that, that like made you like become such a huge football fanatic. Because I know like we've like kind of touched on it, but I feel like we haven't like delved into. That's not how you say it. Doesn't matter how you got to this point of loving football so much, because I don't have a story like that. I just started liking sports. I don't have like this big like revolution moment of, oh my god, like this sport's my life.
So like when I grew up in England, there were of course there's soccer, there's cricket, there's rugby, but you never really had like team sports of them, right? Okay. There wasn't like after school we're gonna go play. After school we're going to soccer practice. Like that shit never like really happened. If it did, it was like set up by like parents, like that sort of thing. Okay. So growing up, I kind of was active doing shit with just friends and stuff. I also played a lot of games. It wasn't until I came it wasn't until I went to the American DOD school. So DOD is Department of Defense. When my dad was in the Air Force, I did 2 years in DOD school. So it was more American curriculum kind of more of an American school system than an English school system. So I started to figure out that there were sports because there were some kids who would go play baseball. There was kids who were playing like for the basketball team. Like there was different teams. I didn't know anything about it though. Still, but I kind of knew it was there. So that was
You
kind
knew
of my
of it, but not the. Okay.
It wasn't until I moved to America that like, of course, all the kids saw how big I was because when I moved here, I was 13. I was 6'4", and I was
You were 6'4" at 13 years old.
something like that. I was either 6'4", 6'2".
Jesus,
Um,
you Amazon.
oh yeah. And I was like 250 probably at that time, maybe 220, something like that. Big boy. Big boy.
Big boy vibes.
Yeah, exactly. And all the guys were like, "Hey, you should play football. You should play football. You should play football." Of course, I didn't know what the fuck football was. They were playing Pop
Right,
Warner.
because in England, football is
It doesn't exist, really.
right.
So my dad, being the great fellow that he is, bought me my first ever Madden. And he said that
Aw.
would be an easy way for me to learn the game, learn the rules, because it's a video game and I enjoy playing video games. So, like, we'll watch football together as a family, like that sort of thing. So, we started watching football. I started playing football in the video game. I started playing football as a freshman and I fucking hated it. I hated
Really?
every fucking thing about it.
What did they have you play as a freshman?
I was playing like the same positions I was when I was a senior in high school and when I was a senior in college. Like I was playing at that point when I was a freshman, I was playing defensive tackle and I was playing left tackle.
Okay.
I just hated it. I didn't really understand it. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. I didn't really understand anything. Like it was all very new to me. I was gonna quit one day and one of my friends, I see him around every now and then, say hi to him. Tony, he told me not to quit. He's like, "Don't quit." He's like, "If we stay together as our class, if we stay together, we'll do great things our senior year." He's like, "Don't quit on us." I was like, "All right." I was like, "I'm fucking holding you to this." So that happened freshman year. Sophomore year, I kind of started to get more into it. The coaches would be like, "Colin, hit that bag," and I'd hit the bag. "Colin, do this," and I would just do it. Like there was no fucking back talk, no nothing. Just boom, I'm doing it.
Right.
A senior got hurt. Backup went in, and he was a junior. He was supposed to be like one of the next big things in the town, and he was mouthing off to coaches. He wasn't doing his job. They told me to fucking do it, and I went in and just did it. And the next thing you know, there's a fucking sophomore that doesn't understand football playing in a varsity game.
Right. Being amazing, absolutely 100%.
Not
killing the game.
Not at that point. At that point, I still had no fucking clue what was going on, really. My coach at the time at our banquet at the end of the year was like, if he keeps going the way he is, he will be one of the best players in Vermont. He's like, mark my words. And that was what he said. And at that point, that hit me and my dad. So we were like, okay, we can't like not let that fucking be true,
Right.
So that kind of spurred me to, try to be the best player that I fucking could be.
Did you actually end up liking the sport though? Like,
oh yeah, I mean, like, when it went, like, the more it went on, the more I liked it. The more I was playing, because it was one of those things where, up until that point, I was always the big fat guy, and no one liked the big fat guy because I was a big fat guy. Like I was liked in nerd circles because it was like I was good at doing card games and like Magic the Gathering. I was good at playing video games, but like it was just I was the big fat guy.
You're not fat. Stop it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's how it was though. And then I started, playing, and suddenly it's no longer I'm the big fat guy. I'm the football player. So like that kind of swag and attitude of that kind of helped a little bit.
Swag.
Yeah,
I love it.
It was one of I said it to when I was coaching. I said it to the kids one year. I was like, I have more swag than your this entire fucking team put together. Figure your shit out. Like
I love it.
Like this was like right before a game. I got my hair gelled back. I got my fucking collar popped. I got my fucking chain on. Like I was like all ready to go, and they're like listening to like I don't know what the fuck it was. They were listening to some bullshit and like bitching and complaining about how they were gonna get their asses kicked.
And you were like, "That's it."
Yeah, I fucking lost it. I was like, I can't fucking believe it. Like, But anyways, fast forward to me going to college. I met basically everyone that's in my stream most days now that are my best friends. And it was one of those things where growing up in England, I had friends, but then I moved and I went to the Dodd school. Then I made friends there. Then I moved again. Then I came to high school, and then after high school, I went to college. So it's like I had
Mhm.
constantly kind of like had friends, but then lost them as soon as we started to become really good, close friends.
Right.
And then in college, playing football was different, and friends were different because it wasn't like, "Hey, go make friends." It was literally like the very first day. It's like look around in this, because we went in the hockey rink when we first were there. It's like look around right now. These are your friends. Doesn't matter what the fuck happens the rest of your life. These are your friends.
Right.
Like that's it.
Because
Like
once
you
a
don't.
team's always a team.
Yeah, you don't get to fucking choose anymore. This is your friends. Of course, we had friends
Right.
outside of the team, but like the majority of us, our friends were inside the team. So like at that point, that immediately hit with me because it was like cool. Like I actually have like really like I actually have like friends that are gonna be friends till fucking the day everything ends. Of course, there are people that are no longer friends that I did
Mhm.
have on the team, but so it was at that point, and then it was one of those things where I wasn't the best player in college. Like
Okay.
I admit it all the time. I feel like I'm man enough to admit I wasn't the best player. I was the best pass blocker on the team, but we were a run first team. And that was our
Okay.
thing, was that we were gonna run the ball down your fucking throat. One of our guards, and of course everyone that's in chat, probably fucking remembers this, he literally in certain games would yell on the field to the defense, "We're running the ball right fucking here, try and stop us." And they couldn't,
Of
right?
course they couldn't.
But like that was the thing though. Like that was the attitude that we had, and that was kind of So like we were run first, no matter what. We ran the ball. Like we ran the ball, and I wasn't strong. I wasn't the strongest guy on the team. I was actually one of the weaker linemen on the team. But my technique was good for pass blocking, and that was my big thing.
Mhm.
Um, so I was mainly a scout player, but it was one of those things where the knowledge aspect of it, like, is a huge aspect in college. I feel is the knowledge of the game, and at
Let's say
that,
I feel like that definitely plays a bigger factor come like later
yeah.
into the career. Yeah.
And so it was one of those things where, like, of course, I'm always around football guys, and we're all football guys. Most of us are always talking about football. So it was like it just became a very easy, simple thing to get lost in. But then it was one of those things where it became very easy and simple to me. Like there was one point where I could name, I think the most I ever was able to do was 20. I was able to name 20 players from every single team at one point.
That's very impressive.
Like that, I think that was my senior year. I think, if I remember correctly. I don't fucking fully remember now, but there was one point where it was either 15 or 20. I knew,
That's
like,
still impressive as hell.
yeah, I knew what colleges they all went to. I knew what fucking position they played. I knew who was going to draft them. I did draft analyses every single fucking year. Like I deep dove into it. Like there was one year I think I had a 30% pick rate for the draft. Like I was like, it was one of those things. Like it was very simple and very easy to me, and that was
Mhm.
kind of the big thing that made me like it a lot. Was because it felt like it was something like this is my thing. And then I didn't graduate after 4 years. So my fifth year, I asked the coaching staff if it would be okay if I came back and was a student coach.
Mhm.
And they said yes, like you can go back and be a student coach. So I came back and I got to work with some great fucking coaches, like right next to them, helping them out, like that sort of thing. And I really appreciate them, and I've said it before, I really appreciate them for letting me do it because I really do feel like they helped me grow more as a person that year than most of the other years. Just being around them, seeing how they did things, how dedicated they were, how meticulous they were with certain stuff. Um, so, like, I worked closely with the offensive line coach, and then halfway through the year, or like towards the end of the year, the tight ends weren't getting enough work, so they actually let me go work with the tight ends by myself for a little bit.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so like there was a little bit of practice. It may have been only like 5-10 minutes, like that sort of thing, 5, 10, 15 minutes. But like that was my thing. Like I went and worked with the tight ends. Um, so it was really kind of cool doing that because that was kind of my first true coaching by myself experience, and that was one of the
Right.
reasons why I got into coaching afterwards at the high school level, was because I liked it so much. But then after a few years of negativity, of bad leadership,
Mhm.
bad coworkers, of the backdoor politics and the community politics overruling what we actually were trying to do. The fact that people weren't willing to like learn new things, like it eventually just it made it so I didn't like the sport anymore. And
It definitely can ruin it for
yeah,
sure.
and like the full like I took the full year off, and I said to Scratchy, I went and watched actually went and watched him coach one game. I was like, I'm gonna make it a point to go watch him coach one game. So I went and watched him coach a game, and at the end of it, I told him, I was like, this is the first time that I've wanted to come back and coach. Was watching you coach, because one,
Like reignited that
yeah,
fire for you?
yeah, because it was one of those things where like like we talk shit all the time on stream. Well, he's always on stream now because now we figured out how he can always be on mics. I consider him one of the smartest football guys I know, and I've
Mhm.
told him that multiple times. Um, Watching him basically do everything pissed me off because he shouldn't have to do everything.
Right.
And that was kind of my thing that I told him, and I said, like, I wish I could, be there to help you.
Let
And
me help you.
yeah, and it's one of those things where like we've had talks back and forth about it, and it's one of those things where it's going to be an ongoing thing. I feel like for the next little bit, while I don't know, but yeah, no, watching him go and play, that really kind of did reignite it. But it's always going to be one of those things. Like I've always liked the game, and it's one of those things where I feel like it's a very interesting thing because like there's not one specific thing you can look to.
Right, there's so many pools of
Yeah,
information and examples to pull from.
like there was one person I was talking to at one point, and they were saying about how Daniel Jones sucks. Daniel Jones is a quarterback for the Giants. I don't
Mhm.
think he's that great of a quarterback. I think he's an okay quarterback, but he isn't that great. But coming
He ain't
out,
no Drew Brees.
well, yeah. Coming out though, coming out of college, he got picked up really early in the draft before a bunch of other people.
Okay.
So they were like, I don't understand it. Da 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 da. They sent me a video, and they're like, this makes no sense. Watch this video and tell me what tell me this. And the very first play I see, and I broke it down with the person, and they completely didn't see what I saw, and what they saw was just stupid shit that doesn't fucking matter.
Oh.
But they thought they knew what they were talking about.
But really they were just talking out of their
Yeah,
ass.
so like it was a play action. It was a play action power where he turns and he throws it out to the flats to a fullback. Fullback catches it and gets like 10, 12 yards.
Mhm.
So like I was like, okay, so what do you see on this play? And they're like, well, his drop's sloppy, his getting the ball is sloppy, his release isn't good, he's throwing off of his like this and that and like this and this, and it's a very simple play, and like that, and I'm like, no, I was like, no, you're fucking
You're
100%.
missing the entire
Yeah.
big point.
I was like, and like if you watch it, their running man, the middle linebacker, steps up into the hole to meet the running back, and then realizes, fuck, it's not a run, and you see him turn, look at the fullback, and sprint to the sideline. Basically, what it was that they picked a fucking great play and have tricked the defense, and the guy that was supposed to cover the guy didn't fucking cover.
So it wasn't even the quarterback's fault.
No, there was not like it was nothing. Like I was just like I'm sitting there like that's all that was. Like that's I was like, so what if his drop sloppy or this or that? I was like, he fucking put the ball on the guy that's wide open. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, that's the quarterback's job. You put the ball on the guy that's wide open. Like
That's right.
you
You
know,
sink it where it needs to go.
yeah.
That's it.
So but yeah, no, that's kind of that was my whole thing. Was like it was just like in college it became very easy understanding football. And then since then, like I'm always learning new stuff. I mean, I would love to find a way. I don't know how I'd be able to do it, mind you. I would love to find a way to at some point do a podcast / breakdown with Scratchy, because like the few times that me and him talk like football, I always learn something. Which
He's
is
just chock full of information.
it could be just something very simple, or it could be something very very big that he makes very simple. It's
Mhm.
just and it's very funny because like there's multiple ways of doing it. Like just a very common play of like inside zone can be taught like 10 different ways. and it all
Right.
depends on who you are and how you want to teach it. Like, so it's very fun and interesting seeing that. And like I said, with him, we're similar in a lot of aspects with the way we want to do certain plays and certain things, but then there's other things where we're drastically different.
Right.
So like I said, it's fun talking, like actually talking X's and O's, the base of like the grand scheme of football, because like yeah, like I said, every time I learn something, you know. But like I said, I'd love to do something like that where like we like break down something or we go over something together, or like I think that'd be kind of a cool.
I feel like that would be sick to like have it like broken down, like if you had a whiteboard behind you and literally like drew it out.
Oh yeah, like and like
Like
that's
that
the
would
thing
be
is like
sick.
I would love to find a way to do it something like that, because like I said, that I think that'd be really kind of cool. Or the other thing as well is I don't know where it is now, but one of the things that I had, I honestly don't know where it is now, so that's kind of upsetting with how much it was.
Oh
Well,
no.
so yeah, so one of the things that I had when I was coaching, I was like, look, like I used to watch maybe 12 to 20 hours of film a week
Mm-hmm.
of the other team. So eventually,
Right.
I got just kind of pissed off with doing it all on the computer. So I actually bought a huddle remote, which is a special remote that you can like basically sit back and just fast forward play, fast forward play, fast forward play, next play, fast forward play, fast forward
Or
play,
like you see in the
rewind.
movies all the time when
Yeah,
they're doing it for like big teams.
yeah.
Okay.
So I actually went out and bought one of those, like brand new, $300, like that sort of thing.
Damn, all that for a remote, bro?
Yeah, and then I got fucking shit canned the
Right.
following year. Yeah, no, like I'd just I'd love to just have something like that where it's just like just breaking down stuff, and just talking about it, because I think that'd be a lot of fun.
For sure.
But
I feel like that would definitely be a lot of fun.
that's my whole thing with football though. I mean, just the other sports like I just never got into. I mean, I know bits and pieces about soccer, and that's just because my grandfather, like I said, I grew up in England for 13 years, so me and my grandfather used to watch footy every day or whenever it was
Right.
on. Man U fan, you know. Um, so
I mean, I feel that. I feel that because like fun backstory time. I didn't have anybody who was into sports except for my dad, and like
mhm.
obviously me and my father don't get along all that great. We do now, but like it wasn't for a while. Um so like that was the only thing that like him and I could really connect on was when I got into football,
Okay.
as in like the NFL. But
Yeah.
like growing up, I didn't do soccer even though it was a big thing in my county. Um I ended up doing softball from a very young age.
Okay.
And that's just because I have a really strong arm and I can throw from outfield. So like that's where I got put. I didn't like that, so I ended up not sticking with it. So then throughout middle school, I didn't do any kind of sports. And then when I hit high school, there is a Spanish teacher I had. Her name is Coach D, and her and I were talking one day, and she was like, "So I'm getting ready to bring this sport to this school," and I was like, "Okay, what's the sport?" And she was like, "Have you ever seen the movie Mean Girls?" And I was like, "Of course, Misty. Everybody has, right? Because who hasn't seen Mean Girls?"
Yeah.
And she was like, at the very end when like they're doing like the recap and like where everybody's at now, like post prom drama. And I was like, yeah. She was like, you remember how Regina was running down a field holding a stick in her hand and hit the shit out of somebody's face? And I was like, yeah. She was like, that's what I'm bringing to school, lacrosse.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh.
you're bringing lacrosse to this school? And she was like, yep. I put in the petition and it's going to be a thing. And I was like, okay, why are you talking to me about it? And she was like, because I want you to play. And I was like, for what? I was like, I've never even heard of the sport. I've never even heard of the sport in my entire life. Like, why? And she was like, because you're an aggressive person and I would need that energy on the field. And I was like, that sounds like an insult, but okay, Misty.
That sounds like an insult, but okay.
I was like, okay, Misty, sure. So I ended up starting lacrosse. And at the very beginning, I was like, this is way too much cardio. I fucking hate it here.
This is
Because
way
we
too
used to
much
have to run
cardio.
forever. We would literally run for half of our practice. And I was like, this is awful. I never want to do this again. Because softball, you don't have to run that much. You just have to be quick.
Yeah.
That's to where like the average miles ran in a lacrosse game is like 3 or 4 miles.
Yeah, we used to have some of the guys on the team used to play lacrosse. We go watch every now and then. We mainly went and watched the girls play though. But.
I mean, little skirts. I don't blame you. So not objectifying women out here. But
our truths.
So I ended up doing lacrosse for all 4 years of high school. The first 2 years we only had enough bodies, or you had to be at least a team for 2 years before they gave you the option to have wow, what is it called when they're not on varsity?
Oh, JV.
Thank you, junior varsity. Jesus, I was blanking so hard. Thank you. So I was on varsity all 4 years because I was there when it started, and then by the time I was in my junior year, they were allowed to have JV, and I was like, well, I've already been playing it for 3 years, so no. But I ended up falling in love with the sport. Like I miss it every day. I carry my lacrosse stick in my trunk so I can pick it up whenever I feel like.
Beat the shit out of random bitches on the sidewalk.
I also have it as a backup for a weapon, absolutely. But you know, I fell in love with the sport. It was super hard to learn. But I was dedicated, you know, and I was that person that, like, we had boys and girls lacrosse that started the same year. And I would play with the girls because the girls would get the field first. And then the boys would come back at 6 o'clock and practice from 6 to 8. And like we would get it from 3 to 5, and they would get it from 6 to 8. And once the girls team was done practicing, I would just stay and hang out with the boys and practice with them because I just couldn't get enough of the sport. Like, I was super fucking dedicated. And my coach at one point, like, when I first started, do you know anything about, you know, some things about lacrosse?
I
know.
I know bits and pieces.
So I was on defense majority of the time, like my first 2 years. And when you play as defense, you know that you can only go up to, like, the attacker's line on the other team. You can't go past that, right?
Okay.
Unless someone trades off with you. So say a midi who has full range of the field needs a break, they'll tap you off, and so as soon as they cross back over the line, a defender can go.
Okay.
There was one time where I picked up the ball off of something and I was running towards the goal, and I was like, oh yeah, like, I can't go over this line, like, I'm a defender unless somebody stays back. And all I hear is my coach, Coach D, she was like, somebody stay back, let her go. And I ended up running and scoring my first goal, and I was like, holy shit.
Ooh.
It was the greatest feeling ever.
Look at you.
We talked about it. I know. And we talked about it later, and I was like, why did you let me go? Like, why did you let me go do it? She was like, you had a look on your face that said that you were going to make it. And sure enough, you did. And I was like, that's good to know.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was great. So I missed that. I missed it all the time. And then my senior year, I tore my ACL on senior night, actually, like our last home game.
Ouch.
I made it all 4 years without any injuries. Like, my junior year, about 3 people tore their ACLs, and I made it all the way to my senior year without doing that. So
there we go.
Yeah. So on senior night, I tore my ACL. It was by far one of the most painful things I've ever felt in my entire life. I'm sure the only thing that would come close is giving birth, and we're not doing that, so it doesn't matter. That's the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life. I ended up, like I said, I tore my ACL, and thankfully I hadn't applied to any colleges on a sports grant because I would have lost it. Obviously.
Well, maybe.
We ended up winning that game my team was super angry. They were like, let's win it for her, as I'm, like, sitting on the sideline crying my eyes out.
Oh.
They won, and it was great.
Oh, that's good.
So then I rehabbed for a year, and then I was free to go back to playing, but mind you, I had graduated, and I didn't really want to do it for CSM, my community college, because at that time I was working full time and money was more on the mind than doing a sport. So my career kind of ended for lacrosse my senior year when I tore my ACL. And then recently, within the last year, I've really been highly considering picking up roller derby.
Oh god.
Which, by the way, is a sport. I know, right? But how sick would it be, right? I know. My friend Emily, who, not M that we know from streaming, but a friend from back home of mine.
Okay.
She is on a roller derby team for our hometown, and it's, like, super, super intense. And I went to watch her one time because I was like, I've never seen the sport in person. Like, I've researched on it for a paper before for like my college degree, but I never actually like have seen gameplay of it or been to a match. And yeah, I went, and then I was almost walking onto the thing because I was tired of everybody hitting on my friend. And my mom had to pull me back because I was about to walk onto the rink and beat the shit out of some
Had
girl.
to go lay the fuck down.
Yeah. So
listen here, bitch. You don't hit my friend.
I was like, stop hitting her. Like, I literally like stood up, and because like her and I played lacrosse together, so like I always had her back. So it was like kind of hard to like watch her take that hit, and I was like, and it kept happening, and I was like, that's it. Like, I'm gonna go out there and beat that bitch's ass. And my mom had to grab me and pull me back, and she was like, no, ma'am.
That's it. And that's fucking great. That's great.
And then their match ended, and the game was over and everything, and she came over, and then her parents were also there, and like I'm close with them, and so her mom looks at me and goes, so did it work? And Emily was like, I think it did. I think she's going to want to play now. And I was like, damn right, I don't want to play. I want to punch that girl in her face. So yeah, she wants to get me to play, and I almost tried out in October, but then I started the new job, so it kind of got delayed. But I think come this October, I think I'm going to try for roller derby again. So who knows? You might be seeing me doing roller derby things come October. More aggressive woman energy. Why not?
Yeah, right. Well, the last part of this, the one that I didn't talk about was I used to do track and field as well.
Did you?
Yep.
That's fucking sick.
Yep. I used to throw shot put and disc. I threw javelin once, almost killed a girl.
Oh my god.
Yep. So I didn't do that anymore. I threw shot put and almost killed a girl. Yes, it was more field than track, yes. I did, though. We did have the Fat Man's 4x1 or whatever the fuck it was called there, where we have the relay around the entire track, and I did do that. I actually was the what was I? I was the second man. I was the second straightaway man on my team when I did it my senior year. Yeah, no, I did track and field for 4 years. I became a captain my senior year. I was better at shot than I was at disc.
Right.
It was
cannonball arm.
Yeah, I used to like really grunt after everything, and it was really funny for a lot of people. But the heartbreaking part of it was, my junior year I threw 42 something in shot put. I don't know what it was. It was 42 something. And I was like, awesome. Like, that's fucking really good for, right around for my area. I was like, that was really good.
Right.
I was like, awesome. I was like, so going to my senior year, let's fucking get this. Can't fucking wait. Going into my senior year, I then get the flu right before the season starts. So I was out with the flu for 2 weeks. I lost 20 pounds.
Oh my god.
Yep. And I was in good shape back then. Like, I was actually like working out daily, running, like trying to get in good shape. So I was like 265, but I was like a good 265. And then I immediately lost like 20 pounds. And it was just everything. All my work that I'd done, it fucking vanished at that point.
Goddamn flu.
Yep. So, going into my senior year, that happened. And then I fell down in the gym on my shoulder. It was either my shoulder or my knee, and I fucked that up.
Oh no.
Yep. So like going into my senior year, I was just completely fucked. I barely make it to states. My senior, what did I throw disc? I want to say I threw like 108 disc.
Wow.
Yeah, and the fun thing with disc as well was that I didn't spin, I didn't half spin. I literally just stood there, fucking contorted my body, and then just fucking got that shit out of there. Like,
just lean back super hard and then yeet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, literally, like that's all I would do. I'd do that, but then the funny thing with disc was that with disc, when I would land after the throw, I would land on one foot, and my other foot was like up in the air, pointing upwards, and I was like out like this. So I was like a little fairy man, like, it was fucking gorgeous, and of course I grunted as well. So it was like, wow! So it was beautiful.
I believe it.
But yeah, no, I threw like 108 something, like 1 year. But
That's actually so impressive. It's like, the stance makes me think about bowling.
oh yeah,
How, like, when people bowl, they have, like, that certain stance that they end on every time.
yeah,
It's always very dramatic. It's like one leg's up or one
yeah,
leg's all the way
right.
over to
Like
the left or right. Yeah.
so I did that, but so my senior year, I make it to states barely. I have a fucking up and down season,
Mm-hmm.
and I had was it 4 or 5? I either had 4 or 5 coaches, and every one of them wanted me to do something different.
That's not good.
So every week my technique was changing, and I was just fucking losing it, losing it, losing it. It gets to states. It's my senior year. I haven't even come close to throwing 42. I think the
Right.
highest I threw was at 38.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was just fucking mad. So like going into this like last fucking like the finals, I throw just enough to get in the finals. I go to finals and I fucking embarrass the shit out of myself. I
Oh
foul
no.
twice
Mm-hmm.
and I finally get one on the board and it's like 34,
Oh
32, something like
no.
that. I fucking lose it at this point. Like as soon as I like go out, I grab my ball. Like my main coach is there. I come back. I fucking throw the shot put. Like I throw the shot put down at his fucking feet. And like the
Mm-hmm.
where the shot put area was, there was literally a road down to like the main road that leads
Mm-hmm.
to the school. I just fucking walked that way, and I was just fucking tears, nothing but tears. I was
Oh.
fucking so over it at that point because it was one of those things where it was like, I finally make it here. I was doing good up until the season. I was fucking having a great senior year, and then I get to this point, and now fucking everything that I've worked for has fucking gone away. You know, I was so fucking over it. Um, but yeah, but that's why I have football.
How about punch all those coaches for you?
Well, I mean, one of them's dead now, unfortunately.
That's okay. I'll go to the shadow realm.
He was a good one though because he would call you a turkey and he would grab you like this. He'd grab you with
Oh no.
just thumb and just pointer finger. He would grab you like that right
Mm-hmm.
on the fat of your tricep.
Ah, that's the
So you would
worst.
throw and he'd be like, well listen here, Colin, and he would fucking grab you like that. And he's like, I
Ah.
don't know why you're being such a turkey, and he would walk you out to where you threw, you pick it up and then he would walk you back while holding you there with that fucking ninja grip.
What a guy.
Oh, he was fucking awesome though. He was like he was the guy that owns. I'm pretty sure he owns the record at my high school. The track is named after. No, the tracks are named after him. Some of the schools are named after him.
Wow.
But like he's like I looked up to this dude so much. You know, he's like one of the
Right.
legends of the school, like that sort of thing. I looked up to him, so much. So like having him coach me was great. But the problem was I had him coaching me. I had like the actual school coach coaching me. I had some
Mm-hmm.
interim school coach coaching me. I had a parent trying to coach me. I had like some dude that didn't know what shot put was trying to coach me. Like it was a fucking
Oh god.
it was a shit show. So, but yeah,
That's the problem with having too many people
Mhm.
trying to tell you how to do a critique
Oh
or a
yeah,
technique. I'm sorry.
exactly.
You
But
kind of have to like take a little bit from everybody and like kind of make it your own thing. You can't, or you need to stick with one style for a while until you kind of.
well, that was the thing is like
Find your groove.
they kept messing with different coaches would mess with my release. They would mess with my form going in, and I always had like a very specific way I would enter as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like every year from my freshman year to my junior year, I had one specific way I entered the circle,
Mm-hmm.
and then my senior year they changed that. They changed how I wanted to enter the circle. Which of
Oh,
course
I don't like
it
that.
sounds like a stupid thing. Like it doesn't matter, just fucking get in the circle. But like I had it like down to a T. Like this is how I did it,
Right.
And then
And then for them to fuck it all up like that.
one coach tried making me spin to throw shot putting.
Oh no.
Yeah, I almost killed the coach.
Oh
Like I don't mean like
no.
I physically tried to kill him. I mean like I spun through it and it like went towards him
Mm-hmm.
because like yeah no
What a. You
yeah
better have ducked.
it was such a shit show. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. But I mean football is that's the where it all comes
That's where
to.
your heart
Yeah.
lies.
But now, so on to the final topic of the night, and it's kind of funny that we're not doing uh, my life as a,
I know, right?
after you introduced it to the channel, You know,
Changing it up.
yep.
Changing it up.
So, upcoming games. So, what games are you looking forward to that will be coming down the line here? Are there any, first of all? And if there are,
So, I'm really looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077.
okay.
I really wanna see what all that's about. I'm just upset that they keep pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. But, like, I understand because like Rona.
Yeah.
Overwatch 2. I want to see what the hell they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm. It's on my list.
Yep. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
On my list.
Because I haven't played since Black Flag.
I played, which one was it?
So I know I'm behind.
I played the one in France.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that because of the multiplayer. I thought the multiplayer and that was a lot of fun.
Right.
The fact that you could literally just have you and your buddy just running around the same fucking map, I was like, that's fucking cool.
That's just a lot of chaos.
Yeah, it was just we just I'm pretty sure we used to just like run around just like killing like civilians, like just.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I have no doubt.
And then I played the one in England because, of course, like I said, I grew up in England.
Right,
I really enjoyed that one because of the whole kind of gang area mentality of the game, but then also the fact that, like, I think it was Jacob and I can't remember the name of the girl, which I feel bad now. But the two characters was a brother and a sister, and they both were different. Faye, yes, thank you, Charles. Faye. So Jacob was more of the fighter, where Faye was more of like the run around kind of be sneaky one, and you could actually customize them by a tree. So you had two different characters, which completely different based off of their tree.
Right. And it was completely different builds.
Exactly. I found that really kind of cool because it really it opened up a lot more stuff. So like you'd go in to do a mission, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go do this mission, and then it's like, cool, I can't wait to do this with Jacob, and it's like, nope, you got to use Faye.
Right.
And I was like, oh,
damn it.
I was like,
How dare they?
Yeah.
But Valhalla. I researched after I finished The Wolf Among Us yesterday. I researched that they're going to come out with a second one. It got repicked up and is confirmed for 2021.
Interesting.
So I want to see that when it happens. I'm very excited about that.
I'm honestly kind of thinking I might play that one. I'm not sure yet.
What, The Wolf Among Us?
Yep.
You fucking should. It's so good. Storyline is great. Definitely is a fantastic storyline. And I had no idea that it's based off of comics.
Oh, really?
Based off the so they're based. So that storyline's based off the Fable comics.
Oh,
which apparently got started in like early 2000s and is still being written.
Wow.
So they apparently have a ton of content to pull from, and they just haven't made anything yet. Because what I didn't know was that in 2018, Telltale's essentially died. And then someone else picked up the rights for it and got new investors and developers, and that's how we have the new Telltales.
Okay.
Which I didn't know until I started doing all this research yesterday when I finished Wolf Among Us.
Look at you being a little investigator.
I know. So that means I'm hoping we get more Batman tings and more Wolf Among Us tings. More tings to play.
More to tings.
What are you excited for that's coming out?
Overwatch 2 is obviously a big one.
Right.
My channel was made on Overwatch. I've recently started playing it more on the channel again. It's making a comeback now that I get to play with John and with Scratchy. It's making a comeback. I'm not as heavily invested in doing the competitive side of it like it used to be. Now it's more about just playing it and having fun. I'm really excited about the story mode part of Overwatch 2. That's the biggest thing I'm excited about.
What is that supposed to like entail? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like, what is that supposed to entail?
Well, a lot of us don't really know. It's the basic thing that we know is that it's gonna be. So like, of course, the story is like very wishy-washy at points. We have the different major events from like the archive events where like we know what happened in Storm Rising, we know what happened with Blackwatch, we know what happened with the Uprising. Like these different events, this is going to be taking place like after Winston sets out like the call, like to like hey, like all like we need everyone back. It's supposed to take place after that, and it's like the Omnics are coming back. They're more advanced. They're this, they're that. So like the story arc, I think, is going to be just basically like getting together Overwatch, and you're fighting against the Omnics. You're fighting against Talon. You're fighting against I can't think of the other group. There's another group, and I can't think of them now. Oh, why can't I think of it?
You can say you can't ask me because I'm bad at that.
Yeah, there's another group anyway. There's another group other than Talon. But I think it's going to be that, and it's just going to be more. It's more lore basically for us. And then the missions are going to be replayable and like this and that. And it's a really cool, like, while you're doing that, there's going to be a level up system for each character. So, like, for instance, Reinhardt, one of his once you get him to like level 10, his shatter, his ultimate, instead of just dealing a straight line, it does it out in a fucking like circle from around him.
Oh, sick.
So there's that. There's one with Mei where when Mei uses her cryo freeze to heal herself, it actually will freeze everyone in a little vicinity around her.
Oh, okay.
One of Tracer's pulse bombs, when she throws the pulse bomb, it will destroy it will blow up the main person, but then little bombs will blow up around like the people around her, like that sort of thing. So there's like all these
a bunch
different,
of reworked shit.
but it's only for the PvE side of it though. It won't go into the actual like game of it, which is I think is really kind of cool and unique. Especially when I saw the Genji's Dragon Blade, you can like do his Dragon Blade and then you swipe and it like does like a actual like projectile.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I was like, that one looks really cool. I was like, all right, cool. Like,
so I wonder if it's gonna be more like raidy type, like kind of like how Destiny's more raidy type.
A little bit. It's gonna be like the way that I saw, the way that it looked anyway from some of the, because of course they've done some like a BlizzCon last year, or was it this year? One of the BlizzCons, the most recent BlizzCon, they did a panel of it, and they had XQC, I think Siegel was there, I think Fran was there, and there was someone else, but they were demoing it.
Oh wow!
And it looks like like the regular typical Archives event, but it's a longer, more drawn out thing.
Oh okay.
Yeah, so like it's gonna be cool no matter what. Like it's gonna be, I'm really excited for it.
I'm sure it's gonna be sick. It's probably just gonna be like you're gonna have to like choose whether queue up for story mode or queue up for quick play. And
exactly
like that.
Okay. And like the cool thing that I like as well is that they're redoing the way some of the characters look as well. So like I said, Genji has a hoodie. Reinhardt doesn't have his helmet on anymore, so he has his helmet off and he has a man bun and his beard's grown longer.
Man bun.
Yeah. Tracer has gotten like a little bit of an upgrade. Mercy has like a different haircut now. Lucio's hair looks different, and the thing on his backpack looks like more like a frog than it did before. So like they're upgrading like the way all the characters look. I think Bastion has like a baseball cap.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so like I'm really excited about that because like that's really cool. But then the other thing is we're supposed to be getting 7 new heroes with the release of Overwatch 2.
I wonder what heroes are gonna.
So we know for a fact one of them is Sojourn, but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sojourn is a Canadian character, but that's what we know though. Like I'm really excited. Like I think that once they start building the hype for it to come out, it's gonna be fucking unreal. Like, but yes, Overwatch 2.
It's not supposed to drop until later this year, right?
It's either later this year or next year. I feel like it's gonna be more next year.
Yeah, especially with everything going on, yeah.
Exactly. I think they want to make sure they fully get everything worked out. Because one of the things that's what it's supposed to be is that, like, for instance, I'm going to buy Overwatch 2. I don't know if Scratchy's going to buy Overwatch 2. But we can still play together. Even though so like that's what they're doing though. We can still play together even though he doesn't have the newest version. He has the old version.
But you could still play it based off of the original content. Okay.
The only thing we can't do is we can't do the PvE. And his characters, the way the characters look on his screen will be the old design, but the way they look on my screen will be the new design.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's more of like a cosmetic upgrade for that aspect of it. But it's just basically like the new one is just a new DLC. They're adding a story mode, they're adding a PvE mode, they're adding new characters, they're adding a new actual game mode called Push.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's more of that. Like Blizzard said the way they wanted to do it was they wanted to make a sequel that changes the idea of what a sequel really should be. And basically what it is this one giant fucking patch is what the sequel basically is.
That makes sense, though. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I'm really excited. Like I said.
I feel like it's gonna be sick. I
Oh
can't
yeah,
wait.
I want to see the new characters. I want to see the way the upgraded looks to everyone. I
Mm-hmm.
want it. I'm really excited. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I already said I'm going to buy the most expensive version of that. I'm still questioning that decision. After finding out that version is $200.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
For what? Why would it be 200 for what? Does it need to be $200 for?
Well, let me see if I can find it real quick. Assassin's Creed
Like, unless you're giving me a Viking boat itself.
That's basically what it is. Okay, let's see here.
Only $200, not bad. My ass, Charles. Sorry to talk to your chat like that, but
You're fine. It's Charles.
my ass.
So you get the disc. You get a 5 centimeter male Ivar Viking statuette. You get a premium certificate of authenticity. You get a selected game soundtrack. You get an exclusive steelbook. You get a 30 centimeter female Ivar figurine. A set of 3 lithographs. You get the season pass and the ultimate pass, which comes with the Berserker gear pack, the Berserker settlement pack, the Berserker longship pack, and a set of runes. So basically, you get basically just a ton of shit for in the game, and then a bunch of stuff.
Right.
Like I get a giant Viking statue. I get a thing saying like, "Hey, you are an idiot and spent a lot of money on this, so here's a piece of paper saying you did that."
Here's a certificate proving that.
The cool thing for me is the soundtrack, because I love listening to Norse music anyway.
Right.
So getting a soundtrack for it, I listen to Wardruna once a week, and that's a big Norse one. So I'm all in on that. I think it's going to be a great game, and it's going to be one of the first big. I feel like it's going to be one of the first big, maybe long titles in 2021. I haven't decided really if I want to put it on YouTube, because I am so wishy-washy with a lot of stuff. I can sit down and play a game and just literally for a whole episode do nothing, and I feel like that'd just be bad content. So, no matter what though, I'm going to play it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like in general, I still feel like it would be a good game because so many people love Assassin's Creed in general. And I feel like it's going to make a huge comeback for the franchise. I feel like the last couple haven't been as big, but I feel like this one's going to be big.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree there too. Halo Infinite. I'm going to play the new Halo game. There's a rumor that I read today that says that we may be getting a Halo Battle Royale.
Oh god, why is everybody still doing Battle Royales?
Because it makes money. And my thing is this: is that when I first saw it, I was like, okay, that sounds dumb. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh my god, a Halo style battle royal. Oh fuck yeah! Let's do this. That sounds like exactly something that I really need. Actually,
That's crazy.
I want to play the story. I want to play multiplayer. I like the idea of Halo. I always have. I sucked at the old Halos. That was back when I wasn't playing many FPS games. Now that I am playing more FPS games, I feel like I'll do a little bit better. So there's that one. Of course, we already touched on Madden 21, which I do not want to play.
Which is a hard no.
Yeah, it's a hard no for me, but I'm going to probably be playing it because somebody will probably be like, here's $60, buy it, you idiot. And I'll be like, thanks.
Thanks, but please don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Weird, your money's getting refunded, huh? I didn't see that happening.
That's crazy.
Yeah, shucks. But the new game though, recently that I've been seeing a lot about. One of them actually. Let me hit on this one first. Hyperspace is another one I'm actually thinking about. I'm probably gonna.
What is that?
So Hyperspace is a battle royal from Ubisoft.
Ooh.
Yep. And it's already come out on PC. And I was watching Dr. Lupo. I connected my accounts and I got the beta key within 20 minutes of watching Dr. Lupo play. And I was honestly just watching him play because I wanted to watch him play. But then I was like, cool, I can't play this because it's on PC.
Why not?
Yeah.
Right.
So on the 11th, in 2 weeks, it actually comes out on Xbox.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's supposed to be free to play. So if it is free to play, I will be downloading that and probably playing that with the pack, as I have officially named us, which is me, Scratchy, and Jeff, and
I
John.
love that you you gave yourself a name. It's so cute.
Yeah, with a pack. So we'll probably play that a little bit, fuck around with that, see what that's like. And then the other one is called Rogue's Company. I've
heard of that.
I've seen a lot about it. It's basically it's a third person view of like Apex mixed with CS:GO.
Oh.
It's kind of like Valorant based, but it's third person. And there's different agents, and there's different rogues. Every game calls them something different now. So there's different rogues, and I've been watching a lot of Summit play it. I've been seeing just nonstop stuff about it. I actually got the beta key for it today for my PC, which I tried to put on my Xbox, and I was like, "This doesn't work," and I was like, "Oh,
of course it doesn't."
Shame.
Of course it doesn't. Why would it?
But apparently, I got to look it up again because apparently it's supposed to be free to play later in the future. But right now, I can buy it and play it.
Oh.
And if I buy and play it right now, I get like a certain I think if I buy there's a 15, a 20. No, I think it's 15, 30, and 60. I think is the prices. If I buy the $15 version, I get two additional characters. Other than the ones that are free to play, I get 2 additional characters and a bunch of like skin stuff, so that changes the appearance and stuff. If I buy 30, I get all the characters.
Are always worth it.
Oh yeah. If I buy the $30 one, I get all the additional characters plus one extra that will come out when the game actually fully releases. Mm-hmm. And the $60 one is like it's all of that, but then also I get like $20 worth of like in-game credit, like that sort of thing.
Nice.
So I was thinking
more things to buy, but in game.
Yeah. So I was thinking about doing the $30 one, but I might do the 15, and just grind a character that I want to get.
Right.
So, but like I said, that's a multiplayer game, free to play. I think if I remember correct, I read that it was going to be free to play later, but right now they're just doing it like this, you know. Because like I said, that's another one that I can easily play with some guys, and that's the crossplay game as well. So, I saw recently someone on Twitter saying like it's great when I'm playing a game, and then suddenly I ask someone what they're playing on, and they're like, "Oh, I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch."
Right. It's so rare that people say that. It's crazy.
So I was going to mention it to John because John will probably most likely download it for the Switch if it is free to play. Those are some of the games that I'm looking forward to. There's probably more that I'm just not thinking of right now.
Fish Simulator.
Yep, the fishing. Oh, there we go. That's actually one. Now that you said that, Nexomon. Nexomon Extinction is the name of the fucking game. Nexomon Extinction is a Pokemon ripoff that is coming to Xbox, and I can't fucking wait. Like I was, I've been looking into it. I've been researching. I've been looking at all the starters because you don't get to pick between 3. You get to pick between 9.
Starters?
There's 9 starters, and you get to pick which one you want.
That's crazy.
So, like, I'm looking into this, and then, like, so it shows the character, and it shows, like, their hand, and they throw out, like, this, like, they call it a Nexo Trap. It's like a Pokeball. Mm-hmm. They throw out a Nexo Trap. So it starts to catch it, and then suddenly there's a timer in the top corner, and it says, like, 6 seconds. And then suddenly it brings up a pinwheel, and you have to press the button. Mm-hmm. So you have to fully press the button before the timer runs out to catch it.
Oh.
I was like, that's nuts. And
that's going to be intense.
It like everything about it is just like, this looks so fucking cool.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it is like Temtem. I don't know if you know Temtem or not. It's like Temtem, but you can get it on Xbox. It's going to be on like everything.
That's going to be interesting.
And it's like $30-$40. And it's like a small English company that's making it. And I think they said there's like 600. There's like 600. There's like 600 like Nexomon on the game.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, like everything I saw about us. I was like, oh
That's gonna
god,
be
here
so
we go.
overwhelming. 600?
I was like, oh god, here we go. You know, like I'm gonna be playing this. Like people are gonna be getting on, like waking up on Sunday, looking at Twitch real quick just to see if anyone's on, and there's gonna be Husky fucking sitting there playing it for 12 hours, just like I need to get,
Just
I
gotta
need,
catch them all. Gotta
I,
catch them all.
I need this Stinik, like I need him, I need him to fulfill my team.
Oh my god.
So there's
That's gonna be
that. And of
hilarious.
course, yeah, there shocking. There were games that I missed. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. I fucking can't wait for that game.
I've
I
heard that game's gonna be good too.
I'm in the middle of uploading Hellblade to the YouTube channel right now. When I
Okay,
played
stop
that
trying to touch the mic.
when I played that game, I had it's easily one of the best games I've played, hands down in my entire career, story wise. The graphics, the story. There's one
Mhm.
point, so the whole thing is like you have psychosis. So like
Okay.
at different points, there's just voices talking, but some of them are nice and some of them aren't. But then some of them over here, then some of them over here, and it's like it just
I don't like
constantly
that. I
it
don't like that.
it constantly fucks with your head. And there's actually one part in the game where like I'm playing and their voices are going and going and going, and you actually see and hear me, and I'm like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut. Like they actually were getting to me,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, that's how I know this game is fucking awesome. You
Right,
know,
right, right. Because it's like in like your actual head, not
E-
just like yeah, that's
exactly. Like
crazy.
now, I'm starting to feel like what the character's feeling. You know. Um,
Mhm.
so the second game of that looks fucking incredible. Just the trailer alone. The trailer for the second one made me play the first one.
Oh, really?
Yep. Like that's what made me play the first
Damn.
one because I was like, that looks cool. I need to play the first one to know what's going on in the second one, sort of thing.
Right. That way you can be prepared.
Exactly. Like I said, that's on the YouTube. That's uploading on the YouTube right now twice a week. And it's such a great series. I've actually been rewatching my old playthrough of it when I upload them. Um, and then the final one, it isn't really an upcoming game, but I'm gonna throw it in here anyway. It's Apex Legends.
Oh yeah, because aren't they getting ready to do well, no, they just started the new season, right?
So new season will be starting here in a couple of weeks.
Right, yeah.
But the fact that there's the seasons, that's the reason why I'm adding this on here.
Mhm.
Um, I I played Apex since week one. I'm a week one player.
Right. Mhm.
I have gone through stretches of not playing that game for months in the
Right.
past. I played that game every single day of the week, other than Saturday and Sundays. Right
Yeah,
now,
so I feel like you are on it often
hmm
and putting in hella work on it.
and it's literally because I actually have like a team now. I have a team that like we play like as soon as one of us leaves, there are multiple times where one of us leaves, and immediately we go away from that game.
Right.
Like, for instance, when Fedge leaves, and me and Sturge immediately, me and Scratchy immediately are like, "You want to play Overwatch?" Or like, "Let's go to Madden."
Right, like immediately switching to something else, right?
Yeah, because we're all not there together. And then there are times when like, yeah, we're play together a few times, but like overall though, like if all three of us are on the mics at the same time, we're all on the Xbox at the same time, we're playing that. Like, um, and like I said, the seasons bring you in the new lore stuff they're doing with the quest modes, all the LTM stuff they're doing. Just I feel like they're doing a great job with it. Mind you, yes, I have been having issues with lags and crashes and getting booted and that sort of shit. But that aside, I can't find fault with the game. Like I'm actually really enjoying it again. You know.
Right.
Um, so like I said, it's not an upcoming game, but it is one though that technically, if you think about it, it is. But yeah, no, those are the games. I'm really like I said, I'm really
Yo, how
excited.
can I forget about Shadowlands, bro? I'm such an asshole. How can I forget about Shadowlands? I literally
Oh
that's why I
god,
started
yeah,
playing WoW again
Shadowlands.
today.
Jesus, yeah.
That's why I started playing WoW today because I was
I
like getting on nostalgia about it.
I remember watching the BlizzCon stuff with that, and I was watching Tim the Tatman reaction to it, and watching his
Mhm.
reaction to it made me want to play.
Dude, I'm honestly super excited about Shadowlands because I'm such a big Sylvanas fan.
Oh, okay.
And
Shocking.
seeing her go absolutely yeah, I know, but she's like I'd let her kick me in my chest, okay?
Mm,
But she's, like watching her in the last 3 expansions trailers just completely pop off
Mm-hmm.
is just revived so much love for the game that like I was talking about it with a coworker the other day who used to play a long time ago, and like he stopped playing it Wrath of the Lich King, which was like the second expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my god, things are so different now. And like today, I was like, I don't really feel like doing anything. And then I opened up World of Warcraft on accident. Like I meant to click something else, and I
Hmm.
opened up World of Warcraft, and I was like, huh.
Huh.
And I logged into like my highest character, and I was like, oh my god, all this is too overwhelming. I have no idea what I am doing. So I ended up making a new character, and that's what I was doing earlier today. And I'm having a fantastic time doing it, to be completely honest.
That's
Like
awesome.
it's I can't wait for that new shit to drop and see the new
So
races and the
so
whole
have you
new
seen
land.
Ashes of Creation?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, wait! I'll send you some stuff on that afterwards. Ashes of Creation is, from what Asmongold, McConnell, and Summit have said or like seen, they're actually thinking it could be the WoW killer.
Wow.
Like there's been some games in the past that they've said like potentially could be a WoW killer. This is the one that's supposedly like, nope, this is going to be the WoW killer. Yeah,
Wow.
like
What is
there's
it supposed to be like?
it's like I said, I'm gonna have to. I'll send you a video on it after this because I can't even fully explain it because I've watched their videos of them reacting to stuff and this and that, but like just overall from what I saw, it looks like the scale that they're trying to do in it is
Mm-hmm.
unmatched in gaming right now, like that sort of thing.
Wow.
Like there's one thing where like I remember this where you can like you can have your city or like your like area where you live fight another area for like control, and depending on what level your area is and their areas, it will actually give you a time and like a date of when the fight will go down.
Oh wow.
And then there's like a giant siege warfare sort of thing to determine who like wins. It's impressive. Yeah,
Jeez.
it's super impressive. Like you have a primary role and then you have a secondary role, and no one can ever fully max out everything.
Huh.
Like, and it's like there's so many different like things with it. Like like I said, I'll send you a video after because I can't fully explain any it to the level that they can. But
Dude, you're definitely gonna have to, because that sounds interesting as hell.
oh yeah, um,
Love new game content.
it's one of those things. Like I talked about it with one of my friends, and I've said to him like, if I get a PC, like there's a good chance that I might get that. Like,
Well, everyone's been talking about the old Star Wars: The Old Republic lately. I don't know like what kind of comeback that game is, but it's starting to get pretty popular.
oh yeah, I was gonna say I've seen a few different people playing that recently.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it
I
just
have no
got some
idea.
big
I
update or
played
if it's just like
I
magically coming back from the dead.
I recently played fucking oh, what was it? I recently played
Blah.
um fuck, what was it that I just played? It was Star Wars Battlefront. I played Star Wars Battlefront, and
Always a good one.
I was like, as soon as I got done with it, I was like, this is dumb. I was like, fuck this game. I was like, I played like 3 games of it, and I was like, fuck this game. Like I went in and
Yeah.
I'm like looking at it, and I had like a KD of like 2.4 or like 3.2 or something like that, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, so I used to be good at this, huh? Like that sort of thing. And then I'm playing it, and I'm like, how the fuck was I good at this game? Like, what the fuck
How
is
did I
going
do that
on?
before?
Exactly. Like it really was. It was like, oh my god. So, yeah.
That's funny.
All right. I think that's about. I think that's. You have anything else you want to add to the end of this before we?
No, I think we did cover everything. Wow,
Yeah.
we covered everything.
Yeah.
I feel like that flew by.
Of course it did.
But no, see, look, we did good, kid. We did good.
You did good, kid.
You did good, kid.
Thank you to everyone that stopped by and hung out and was here today. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that's going to watch this later at home, and thank you, Dana, for joining the podcast really late. I appreciate you more than anything.
It is no problem at all. I always enjoy talking to the hubby.
I always appreciate having the wife here. So, depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Stay out of trouble, stay safe, and we will talk to y'all later. Yeah, see?
I was waiting for you to do it with you. God!
Bye!
Bye!